There are some interviews that don't just make headlines. They touch the heart. And Jennifer Lopez's recent appearance on The Howard Stern Show was exactly that. The global superstar, actress, singer, dancer, and businesswoman sat down to talk about something far more real than fame or fortune. She spoke about love, or rather, the absence of it. When asked if she's ever truly been loved, Jennifer paused and then said something that left everyone stunned. She said, "No, not the kind of answer you expect from someone who's been adored by millions for decades." But as she explained, being loved by the world doesn't always mean being loved by one person in the way that matters most. Jennifer said she's had relationships where people gave her everything they could. Gifts, homes, rings, and commitment. But deep down, she felt something was missing. They gave me all they had, she explained. But sometimes what they had to give wasn't enough. It wasn't love. It was effort, but not connection. And then came the line that truly struck a chord. She said, "It's not that I'm not lovable. It's that some people just aren't capable of love." That's a powerful realization. Imagine being someone who's achieved almost everything in life, yet still feeling unseen by the people closest to you. For J.Lo, that realization didn't come easy. She admitted that part of the problem wasn't just her partners. It was also herself. Because as she said, "I didn't love myself." That confession opened a whole new layer of understanding. Jennifer talked about how, for years, she lived her life in the public eye, wanting to share her happiness, her milestones, her red carpets, her love stories. She never hid. She wanted to be open, to share love and be loved. But now, after everything that's happened, she says she's choosing to keep that part of her life more private. She said, "I used to think being open meant being real. But now I've realized some parts of your life deserve quiet." Still, she admitted that when you're truly happy, it's hard to hide it. When you found someone or something that brings you peace, you naturally want to share it with the world. But fame comes with a price, and privacy is often the first thing you lose. Jennifer explained that being in this career means constant compromise. You get the blessings, the fame, the success, the fans, but your personal life often suffers in return. She said she used to think she could beat the system, that she could have it all: love, career, peace. But now she understands that balance requires change. You have to change your behavior, she said, if you want a healthy relationship. And part of that change came after her split from Ben Affleck. That heartbreak, she says, forced her to do something she'd avoided for years, to love herself for real. When Howard Stern asked if she still believes in true love, Jennifer smiled softly and said, "Yes." But then came another deep question. Do you ever wonder if anyone would love you if you didn't have your looks? Jennifer didn't hesitate. She said, "Of course. I've thought about that a lot." She went on to explain that her life's greatest lesson, and her real work, has been about self-love. About realizing that she's enough even when she's not performing, even when she's not perfect. She said, "The work of my life is to know that I'm whole on my own." It's not about beauty, fame, or validation. It's about peace, the kind that comes when you finally give yourself the love you were always looking for in others. Then she talked about a moment that changed her life. She remembered sitting outside one summer evening, surrounded by her closest friends, and suddenly thinking about the little girl she once was. She said, "I saw that 7-year-old girl, barefoot, with messy hair, dreaming of something bigger. She's the one who did all this. She's the reason I'm here." And then she realized she never gave that little girl credit. She'd spent years chasing perfection, criticizing herself, comparing herself, trying to be better. But she'd never stopped to say, "You did good. You survived. You grew." Jennifer said, "Not because I'm famous or successful, but because I'm a good person, a good mom, a good friend, a good daughter. That's what truly matters. And in that moment of reflection, she said she finally felt peace, peace from within. For the first time, she didn't need love from someone else to feel whole. Then came another deeply personal chapter: motherhood. Jennifer shared how she struggled to get pregnant for years and how finally having twins, Emme and Max, became the greatest blessing of her life. She said she was desperate to have children, and when it finally happened, it felt like a miracle. They were angels, she said softly. I love them so much it hurts. But life after her split from Marc Anthony wasn't easy. Being a single mom and the main provider made her go into what she called overdrive. She worked harder than ever, not just for herself, but to give her kids the life she never had. Then came the pandemic. For the first time, she was forced to slow down and stay home. And that's when her kids told her something she'll never forget. They said, "Mom, you're not like other moms. You're not here enough." That hit her hard. She realized love isn't about giving money or luxury. It's about being present. Since then, she says, she's worked hard to balance her life, to show her kids that they are her priority. And now, she says, they're closer than ever. Finally, Jennifer looked back on her Super Bowl halftime show with Shakira, one of the biggest moments of her career. At first, she admitted she was surprised to share the stage. She wondered why one Latin woman couldn't headline the show alone. But in the end, she says, it turned out to be perfect. Because together, she and Shakira represented strength, motherhood, culture, and unity. Looking back, she says, God always knows what he's doing. And maybe that's the real message behind everything Jennifer said that day. Sometimes life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you need. Maybe she was never truly loved the way she hoped to be. But through it all, she learned how to love herself. And that kind of love, the one that starts within, is the one that truly lasts. So, what do you think? Can someone be as successful and loved as Jennifer Lopez, yet still feel unloved inside? Maybe true love really begins with self-acceptance. This was FameFlash, bringing you stories that touch the heart and make you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.